Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phi and this is Money Philosophy. Today we will talk about Amazon technical analysis, and I will also share with you guys a recent trade that I did in Amazon that gave me the profit of over $11,000. And I want to share with you guys what I saw, why I did what I did, and whether or not I will re-enter any trade in Amazon in the near future. So stay tuned and hopefully you enjoy the video. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I am a growth stock investor and a trader. Amazon is my second biggest holdings of my portfolio, with the first being Tesla. And I'd love to share with you my investing and trading journeys. Without further ado, let's dive into Amazon technical analysis for today, September 1st. So let's begin with the daily chart. Today is September 1st. At the time of this recording, it is 2:40 Eastern Standard Time, so we still have about over an hour left in the trading day. We will notice that Amazon did a gap up and it stayed up for the day, at least so far. It is hovering around 35.09 after retracing from about 35.24, which was the high end of the day. Yesterday I sent out a YouTube note in the community to kind of update you guys where I see Amazon was going, and I'm very happy that today we had a gap up and it stopped right around my resistance point here of 35.24. Let's break down the price action for today and what I saw in Amazon for the last few days. Also, one thing to note is the volume right now is 81%, which is tracking about 100% by the end of the day today. I also note that the RSI is a little bit on the overbought territory here, so that is important to notice. If you have been longing Amazon, it might be a good time to take it off now, because it might be retracing a little bit, especially if there's a mini gap up here. It could fill that gap tomorrow or the day after before going further, and that would be another opportunity to enter a call option depending on the volume that day. The yellow line that I have here is the average volume for the last 30 days. And as you can see here, yesterday was above average volume, so that's really good, with predominantly buy volume. And today the volume is slightly below average at this point. Looking at the hourly chart right now, we can see that Amazon bottomed out about a week and a half ago at around 31.80, and then it started moving back up since. So as of the end of last week, it kind of created a hourly inverse head and shoulder, with this as being the shoulder, the head, and another shoulder here, and it broke out starting Monday. Today the price action is pretty interesting. Amazon hit the high of the day of 35.27. My resistance is 35.24, which I shared with you guys yesterday in my note, and sure enough, it started retracing a little bit once it hit the resistance. Another thing to note is this is the upper pivot point of the day, and usually that is a good sign to take profit. So I took my profit when Amazon reached close to the pivot point, so it was around 35.10 or 35.15 when I took profit off of my trade, which I will share with you later in this video. For the trading range for tomorrow, we're looking at on the upper end at 35.46. The midpoint is 35.10 and the bottom point is 34.90. We also still have the resistance point at 35.24. So it depends on where Amazon ends the day today. It could be consolidating around these three lines between 35.24, 35.10, and 34.80 tomorrow. Note that there is a mini gap created today. So yesterday, Amazon ended the day at 34.73. It opened the day today at 34.92, so almost about $20 gap. I expect this gap to be filled at some point in the near future before Amazon continues its run. I also note that the gap that was created from earnings would be filled at 3,600. So Amazon is only about $90 from that gap right now. So that is definitely possible within this week, knowing how Amazon moved. It's pretty aggressive for Amazon to run another $100 from now until the end of the week. It is entirely possible, though, given the trajectory, but given the hourly chart with the RSI and the daily chart with the RSI, I'd say that Amazon might be consolidating for a little bit longer before continuous run. So I enter my trade at the beginning of the day on August the 19th for a call option expiring October 15 at the strike of $3,400. I entered a trade slightly before the market opened, and it was executed as soon as the market opened. So essentially I bought it for about $5,000. And I exited my trade this morning about 15 minutes into the market open on September 1st. It's the same call that I exit at $16,800. So August 19 is on a Thursday. So it's right here. So I see that pre-market Amazon was pretty low. So I enter the call as soon as the market opened. The stock went all the way up to about 32.28 and then start retracing back. So by the end of the day on the 19th, I lost some money on my call option. The next day, which is on the 20th, the stock kind of moved sideways. So I also lost option at the lowest point of the day and start making some money back when it ended the day. So this is where I think that if you are a swing trader, it helps a little bit because I have until October 15 and the premium was only $5,000 given the call option expiration date and a strike. So I felt pretty comfortable of the risk and reward ratios, and I understand that I might have to take a hit initially. So I held through these, and sure enough, on Monday, August the 23rd, Amazon start moving up. So essentially I caught the bottom in relative term, not absolute bottom, but somewhat of a bottom. Let's go to the daily chart and I'll show you what I see in order to catch that bottom. So I enter it right here on this candle right here on the 19th. So if you notice that Amazon made a gap down, bounced a little bit, which is classic, before filling the gap, went all the way down. So anybody that have any contemplation to enter calls when Amazon on the way down, you had great intuition. However, we want to wait to make sure that Amazon gives us any kind of signal that is ready to bounce before entering a call. So as Amazon entering the last leg of moving down here, you notice the RSI is getting to oversold. The sold volume is pretty extreme. And this particular daily candle right here is a bottoming candle. Even though it is a failed rocket launch, but it is at the bottom of a series of moving down. So that is a bottoming candle. So that was an optimal point to enter. The next day, the stock made a bullish hammer, although it wasn't moving substantially higher or anything like that, but it is still a bullish hammer. So combine these two candles, it is a bottoming candle, and sure enough, it bounced. So you could have still made profit if you enter call option along the way here, but I'm not sure if you would have the tenacity to hold when Amazon continued to go against your direction. Of course, when Amazon get to this stage, I wouldn't enter put because this is also a pretty bullish hammer here and push the stock above 200 days SMA at the time. So entering put options wouldn't be my choice, although if you did, you still profit a little bit. But these 2 days were the last leg of a downturn, and then it start bottoming out and start reversing. So that's where I caught the reversal and I enter the call here. I held the call all the way until today when it get to about 35.10 give or take. So that is over $120 run within 10 days give or take, and netting almost $12,000 in gain. So I'm pretty happy with that. I know traders that make $5,000 a day or even $10,000 a day pretty easily. But I don't want to have to sit in front of my computer all the time, so I opt for swing trading. Now, as we are having this conversation, the stock formed a failed rocket launch. The price right now is 3,500, so it is below 3,505. So that is a little concerning for the bulls. This is definitely the time to exit calls if you've been holding it the whole way. So I think my exit point was pretty optimal, absolutely guided by the pivot lines here. As you can see, I exit close to the pivot line. Pivot lines are usually pretty good indicative of where the stock would end. Sometimes it moves above pivot point easily, and if we were lucky today, it could have filled the gap, but we weren't lucky today, so it stopped at the pivot point, and so I think that's an optimal point to exit. So this is it for this video. I hope you find the information helpful and that you like the trading experience that I share. If you have any question or comment, please comment down below and I'll try my best to answer them for you. Please also consider subscribing to my channel for similar updates and trading experience analysis in the future. Until the next video, bye!